All right, for the lower part of the arm, there are a lot of tiny muscles in the lower part of the arm. However, the muscles are actually somewhat easy to dissect because they're encased in connective tissue. And once you get that connective tissue off, you'll find that they actually separate rather easily. It's just remembering which tiny muscle is which. Also, depending on how you took the fur or the skin off of your cat, you may find that you want to go down a little bit further to the wrist. Whoever did this cat, I'm actually going to take a little bit further down here. And as you get these muscles cleared out, that you can actually see them, you may actually find it interesting to go further down into the hand where you can actually see the tendons and how they would branch out and connect down into the digits. When you are working on the lower arm here, they are listed in a rotating order around the lower arm on the list. So you'll see them in order there, and I'll point that out to you when we have them all dissected out. The other thing that you're going to want to pay attention to is the brachioradialis muscle. The brachioradialis muscle is very thin and it's very easy to cut it. So you do want to pay attention to that. Okay, so now in my lower arm here, you can see there's a lot of thick connective tissue on the surface. So I'm just going to try to slowly peel that away layer by layer. And you should be able to actually hear the difference between connective tissue and muscle at this point. Connective tissue sounds a little bit more like paper ripping. I don't know if you can hear that as well as I can. And I'm just cleaning off the surface here of all that connective tissue so I can see the muscles underneath. And the brachioradialis is going to be more towards the thumb side of the cat, has that word radial in it. So it's going to be on the radial side if you want to pay attention to that when you're taking this connective tissue off the surface. All right, I think I'm finally starting to see some tendons here and some muscles on the surface. At least on the lateral part of the lower arm here. Now, if a muscle is listed twice, that doesn't mean that it's two separate muscles. It just means that you can see it in both of those different locations. There's that brachioradialis muscle up here. Be careful not to completely rip that. All right, so what you should have eventually should look something a little bit like this. Okay, this is part of that brachioradialis muscle that I was telling you about. Then on the surface, you should have three main extensor muscles that you're going to see on the lateral side here. Okay. Trying to view them from the mirror image in the screen. Okay, so there's the first one. There's your second one. And then here is the third one. Okay, so you have 1, 2, 3. Now, if you remember, give me a clue, spelled C-L-U. Closer to the thumb side, or what would be the thumb by that brachioradialis over here, is the extensor digitorum communis. Then in the middle, you have the extensor digitorum lateralis. And then the very last one over here on more towards the pinky side would be the extensor carpi ulnaris. And you can see those are listed in that particular order on the lateral side of the lower arm. So again, you have that extensor digitorum communis, extensor digitorum lateralis, and then the extensor carpi ulnaris. And then we will tackle the medial side in the next video.